This is a live show.
Oh, yeah.
Ben?
You think?
We're still recording. Sorry.
Oh,
Here's a lesson. You can technically mix beers. People don't know it and people don't do it, but you can mix beers as long as you don't mix anything too radical. You can mix to get a combination of the right flavours. So I'm just going to mix the two. I've just mixed up the Green Mountain and the Northern Monk. See if we can get a bit of resinous and a bit of the lightness. See what it tastes like.
Fair play for having some left.
That's it. Yeah, I've got to look after a baby tonight, guys. I've got to keep a baby alive.
I have a lot of fond memories of BrewDog as a place. The one in Bristol, Glenn, really did kind of introduce me to a lot of really good things around beer drinking.
Really got me into it as well.
When they first set out, it was genuinely like, this is really cool. This is somewhere different that we can go and try some new beers and what have you.
Well, it was radical. It was a different thing, wasn't it? It was.
But I definitely think. I mean, I can just remember Charlie in her first trip. Obviously, she doesn't drink beer, and the barman was so desperate to get her to drink it. He literally went straight through the menu, giving her little tastes of everything. And to go somewhere where somebody would take that time was nice. It was great. But I do feel that that ship's kind of sailed massively, and it's.
Oh yeah. Well, they can't do it anymore because they're so busy because everyone uses them as like the craft beer magnet of where there is one. They're always so busy. You don't get that experience.
This smells of dog biscuits.
Anyone like the creamy pour I've done? Look at that.
Oh, nice. Yeah, mine's not quite as impressive. That smells like
Are we recording again? I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that smells quite nice.
So what is this? So this is BrewDog Zombie Cake.
Yeah.
5% praline and chocolate porter. Now I've just had a sip of that, and the sip is lovely.
Yeah. So just I guess a quick thing for everyone. The first 3 beers were pale ales. So the beer's pale. It's pale looking. When it comes to porters and your stouts maybe, or your brown ales or your red ales, that's when you tend to use more speciality malts into your beer.
I mean, would you like to know what is in this? I have it
do.
as much research.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's going to be some chocolate
malt. Can we do a guess? Yeah, come on.
So any guessing? Any guessing on the hops initially?
Hops.
Oh,
I wouldn't really.
There's 2.
Like East Kent or something basic.
Amarillo and Bramling X.
Oh, Bramling Cross.
Yeah.
Cross. There's the uneducated ignorance for you, Bramling X. And the malts. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 malts.
Okay,
so you have a pale malt.
Pale.
Yeah.
Maris chocolate.
Nope.
Chocolate.
Nope.
Really?
Amber.
Nope.
Is there no amber malt in that at all?
Well, I mean, I'm just going on names here about what I'm giving.
Roasted barley.
Nope.
Bit of black.
Nope.
What is in this?
Burnt malt.
No, I mean, you may have just got it right, but I'm just going on. So I've basically got 5 words in front of me.
All right, go on then.
So brown.
Oh, fair.
Brown malt.
Oh, wow.
Cara.
Yeah, caramel. Yeah.
Carafa.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Crystal and pale.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Wow, I'm surprised to get the colour.
I like this. I mean, I probably should have said at the start that porter would be my go-to. I have a real thing for porter.
I do like a porter. I've got to say I think that's a good example of a porter.
It's really lovely.
It's light to drink. It's not thick. It's not sickly. It's got a nice bitterness. The malts are really strong. The hops aren't really there at all. Actually, now you said Bramling Cross. Bramling Cross has got a very particular hedgerow blackberry flavour, blackcurrant and blackberry flavour, and that's.
Oh yeah, in the aftertaste. Now that you've said it, I can of course taste it. But
yeah, it's subjective, of course, but it has got it.
Yeah,
that's nice. I think that's quite a nice.
Solid.
If it wasn't BrewDog, then I would. And that was a small independent brewery. I'd say, wow, that's a fantastic beer.
So the fact that it's BrewDog now, this is where it kind of comes back to all of the chat that we've had for the last year. Is this craft?
Well, I think based upon what people have talked about when we've interviewed, lots of people have said that craft means small, independent. And bearing in mind these guys own, 40% of the business now? And it's worth in excess of, I don't know, 10 million, must be more than that, pounds. They've got hotels and all sorts. It must be £1 billion. It must be worth now.
And an airline.
I don't know that it. I mean, it is. As far as I'm concerned, it is craft beer, yes, because it fits into what I would call the bracket of flavour profile and the style of beer. For me, it comes in keg. It comes in can. It's brewed with a particular style and approach in mind. I would say this is still crafted or craft beer as we know it.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. Like for me, if this beer was on cask, that'd be solid.
Oh, that'd be good.
BrewDog have not. I think if I read through like their old recipes, I think they've done one cask beer ever.
Really?
Everything is on keg, unless it's changed recently. But it's but like going back to the whole craft beer thing you were saying there, Lyle, with the just the size of it. Like if you compare the size of BrewDog to American craft breweries, they are tiny. Well, not tiny, but they're not. Look. I just picked up my Sierra Nevada bottle again. If you see it on the bottom of it, they have two breweries. They're two decent sized breweries, and they can import and export.
BrewDog has a presence overseas. Do they?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They're massive. Yeah.
Yeah, so they've got. I forget where. I think it's in Columbus, so it's in Ohio, maybe. They've got their hotel.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that would be a great future episode.
Wouldn't it just?
Yeah, and then they've got BrewDog bars just spotted around the world really now.
But, I mean, like I mentioned earlier, but I mean, BrewDog. I mean, same as most people, when they first set out. I mean, Glenn and myself, we went into the one in Bristol.
Opening day, I think it was.
Oh yeah, and it felt like an event. It was like, as a beer, someone who enjoys drinking beer, I was, probably me and you, Lyle, in terms when we went out drinking, we would drink your Ringwood Bests or whatever. You'd have your ales rather than your lagers, where all your mates would drink lager. So suddenly this bar's opened, and you feel like you've almost sort of come home. You go in there, and it's all beers that you want to try. They're all. I had no idea that what would then transpire to become the whole movement, and that they would remain very much at the forefront of that. For me now, they have very much moved on from that point, though. And I almost feel a bit sad about that. But I do think they kind of typify the craft movement in the UK to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like I said, I tried another one of their beers from their bar near me. It was terrible. It just felt like they were then just making beer to be different. Just trying to make it as crazily flavoured as they possibly could, so that people would just come in and try it. And it was undrinkable. But this is lovely. So, I mean, I don't know, kind of, I don't really know where I stand on BrewDog now.
Graham?
BrewDog? It's hard. It's not easy. BrewDog's one of them big, light bulb moments in craft beer for me. When that Bristol bar opened when I was at uni there, that was
fantastic place. Was it the Penguin? That literally, it was like Marmite, and it was something like 40%.
Gold, Sigma Bismarck, 41%. Yeah, stuff like that. But they don't. I don't think they've done that attempt recently at all. I don't think they've done it at all now. Tried to get the world's strongest beer, but
it completely changed the whole drinking experience.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
I was in somewhere that was built for me.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I don't know. It's hard. It's really hard for me. I have, like, say for instance, I've not had a punk IPA for probably years now. Actually, you know, if I see BrewDog on the shelf in a shop, I won't go for it normally. So that's the thing. Odd thing is, I'm not quite sure why. I've had the Lost Lager. Probably actually, I've had Lost Lager. That's just, recently. That's okay. But yeah, it's strange. I really don't know what my opinion is on it. It's strange. I just don't.
They've almost become victims of their own success.
Yeah, they. It's odd, isn't it? It's like if I go for a craft beer now, I wouldn't go. Let's see what BrewDog have.
No.
It's weird, isn't it? It's like.
But they were the guys that started it, so should they not be the first place that we look?
Yeah, 10 years ago. Yeah, it is about 10 years ago, actually, when it started opening in Bristol.
Started it in this country, anyway.
Yeah. It's like, oh, yeah, you would go, what is BrewDog doing today or something, But now you go, there's so many other breweries that are doing it. I'm not sure if it's better, but I don't know if it's come down to marketing or anything.
No.
Well, 2007 they set up.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Drinking this, it's solid, isn't it?
This is a lovely porter. It's really nice.
Yeah.
But I would have ignored it if you hadn't put this on the drinking list for tonight. I would have completely ignored it and tried one of the other porters, which would probably not be as nice.
Yeah. So does that mean we are suckers to the idea of craft? If you'd seen a porter that was from an unknown brewery, you're more likely to pick that up and try it because that's what the craft beer movement is about, than to go with something that you might pick because it's from a reputable brewery. Is that how craft beer is going?
I think this lets them down, or not lets them down, but this goes against them. I see the label, and it's so obviously BrewDog.
Yeah.
I just immediately look elsewhere. Immediately. And yeah, that's no fault of BrewDog.
Well, you think?
But I just assume that because they've got literally, they could have had their own section in the supermarket.
Practically do.
Yeah, and you just you see that and think, oh no, you've sold out. Is it? It's a ridiculous mindset to have when the beer is still largely very good.
So is there such a thing as being a traditionalist when it comes to craft beer? Then
potentially, probably.
Possibly, but then should this not be the most traditional of craft in the UK?
Arguably, yeah. I would arguably say it is.
Or as in the idea that the smaller the better, the more unknown,
traditional style.
Yeah, like discovering an unknown band, you kind of hold that close, and you don't want it to get big. And then when it gets big, you want to try and find the next unknown little gem.
Yeah,
yeah.
And yet, how many people have bought into a BrewDog? All those punks who now have been told that their money is worth absolutely nothing because they've invested in a business that's got massive, and if they ever wanted to reclaim their stake, they don't have it. It's not a share. And in fact, I think during this epidemic, BrewDog have recalled all of the benefits that you get of being a punk owner. I might be wrong on that, but I believe the benefits that you would normally get of being a punk, a BrewDog investor, have now gone.
Yeah, it's interesting the word you just said. The punks that invested into the company, right? You look at this beer, how it's designed. Is this punky?
Well, it was.
Is it rebel? Is it a rebel sort of?
It was revolutionary at its time.
But at the time, you felt it was something completely new.
This beer was like hitting America hard, and supposedly, if you go onto the BrewDog website, they've got loads of stuff at the moment. They're doing loads on Instagram and on Facebook as well. But they said that they went originally out to see these guys and see their setup, and they were so impressed with it, they had to bring it back to the UK, and they were the ones who allegedly brought craft beer to the UK because of Sierra Nevada. So they saw the movement happening in America, and they brought it back. So yeah, they were the people supposedly who were the revolutionaries, the
Interesting.
anti-society punks who were like, yeah, sod the brewery scene. Let's do something different. Let's bring American beer as it should be here. And they've sold that idea, and so much so that new breweries are opening every single day in the UK.
Yeah,
it is interesting though, as you're just your common all garden beer drinker. Like when I was younger, I felt on the edge of things because I wasn't drinking Foster's.
Mhm.
Because I was drinking Ringwood Best
Mm.
or London Pride or whatever.
Yeah.
This came along, BrewDog came along, and I thought, amazing. This is great. Drank their beers, and thought, yeah, okay. But I still really like my Ringwood Best. But then because I then wasn't drinking craft beer every time I went out, you then feel yourself kind of on the edge of that as well. It kind of became its own exclusive club. I would still sooner go out and session a best bitter or something like that all day long.
And
Certainly.
you don't get that impression, do you? I feel like you get the impression that when people drink craft beer, or whatever we're calling craft beer, that is what they drink, and they would drink it. And I do go to small breweries, and I see people drinking lots of it, and I think I couldn't possibly drink 5 or 6 pints of the stuff they're drinking.
Yeah.
And I do feel on the edge of it. I don't feel like I am part of that scene. I feel like I can enjoy it, but I'm not part of it. So perhaps we need to get into the mindset of people who do just only drink that and perhaps don't like cask beer, but maybe they don't exist.
I question whether they do. I'm yet to meet anybody who seriously just likes their beers and can just go in and just knock back pint after pint after pint of craft. I mean, even when we went up to the beer mile, it changed every single bar. We had to change what we were drinking every time, just because it's not possible to drink 8 pints of IPA without literally your face turning inside out through.
It did at one point, I think, Mike.
I think it did. Yeah, it happened to me by Mulberry Street Market. Yeah, my whole face just imploded on itself. Awkward, very awkward.
Good feedback.
Cool. That was a genuine. I've enjoyed that beer.
All right.
Zombie cake.
Zombie cake. Aye.
Probably my favorite. Well, definitely my favorite beer of the night, which was a real surprise. I kind of thought that I would turn my nose up at this, and that is purely because of the brand, because of BrewDog. But in terms of taste and drinkability and kind of sessionable beer, it's right up there for me as a porter. I tend to find a lot of porters I can maybe enjoy over the really good ones. I'll have a couple of pints, and that's certainly in that category. Just really tasty, not offensively flavored in any way. Just exactly what I would expect from a good quality porter. And I'm pleasantly surprised. I'm pleased. BrewDog are still kind of, they're still producing really good quality beer.
Good beer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's again similar ballpark to Mike. It's a good, solid porter. I would definitely have another one again. If I saw it in the shops, yes, I'll definitely get one. It is very close. It's probably tying for beer of the night for me. That's probably because I got a bias towards, Sierra Nevada. To be honest, the original pale ale is such a staple for me. It's just, yeah. Anyway, what do you think, Lyle?
Yeah, I like it. I don't think it's the best porter I've ever had, but I've got to say I was surprised as well. It was nice. It was lots of flavour, easy drinking, and 5% makes it a good beer for me as well. So yeah, I was happy with that. I thought it was a good beer. I'd buy again, definitely.
Yeah.
But in fact, I would probably go out and search for it because I don't normally get that in my local shop, but I try and make a point of trying to find it.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of typified for me exactly what a beer at home should be about. That you get in a few beers that you just enjoy, and you can sit down and you can actually just enjoy everything, rather than like I did the other night, have a couple of sips and throw the damn thing down the drain. So,